Hello everybody, I'm Stéphan, I'm a Wavestone CIO and I'm here with Elsa from my applications teams, and today we're going to talk to you about how we deployed our whole company on Odoo in just a few months. I'm going to go very fast, it's the last talk of the day, so please keep all your questions at the end, and we'll be here to reply to any questions at the end. Okay. So our application is called Wavekeeper. It's an Odoo instance on the V10, and it's our ERP, and it's deployed for our whole company, so it's 9 different countries, 3,000 users. Approximately 20 Odoo applications, all that in less than a year, and of course after deployment in April, we are still making evolutions every week on the applications to mainly bug fix, but also to add new evolutions and new applications on the app. So it's been a huge project for us, more than 1,500 days of development. We have invested a lot in training, change management, so it's been an average of 400 man days per month to roll out this project, and we've tried to remain close to the native of Odoo, but we have had 20% of personalization and done a lot of user trainings during that project. But why such a project? Well, Wavestone was born in the end of 2015 as a merger of 2 consulting companies, Solucom and Kurt Salmon. Both companies merged. It's to 3,000 employees, and of course when we have 2 consulting companies, our main purpose, well, the main thing that we have to converge really fast is the ERP. It really enables us to work together and steer the business together, have common KPIs to be able to steer the business. So first thing after the announcement of the merger was to make a choice between Solucom's ex-ERP and Kurt Salmon's ERP. Neither of them were good and viable solutions, and at the end of January, we decided to go for Odoo. So in the summer, we had a first POC with a proof of concept for the main features of the ERP. And in November, we were starting our first pilot with 2 countries, deployed at approximately 60 users. And afterwards, we went on a big bang. On April 24th, we have a fiscal year that ends in March, so we closed our previous fiscal year and started our new year for the whole company on April 24th. So it's been quite an intensive year. Just to present Wavestone very fast, we are a consultancy company, so we do projects, innovative projects, and with a strong focus on innovation. So we had to translate that on the Wavekeeper project, and we are mainly a company focused to great accounts, large accounts, the top 1 clients in Europe, and with all our consultants deployed on our client sites that need to access the ERP. We cover almost all industries. We have some technology practices and also business functions practices. So we have users that are very demanding when in regards to the ERP. Both technology consultants that want the state-of-the-art, newest solutions, and business consultants that just want something that works and that is very simple. And we also have assets in Wavestone that we used during our project. Assets such as the Career Desk, that's a team aimed at defining new ideas, identify ideas that, on clients that we used in our in workshops during the project to improve our ERP. Also, Factory for proof of concept, machine learning data lab for data analysis and data crunching during the process, during the project. And just an example of project clients, we are used to very large projects. So Wavekeeper was, well, just like one of our client projects for us. So why what we decided to do in December 1st, we had those hypotheses. We needed an ERP that was concentrated on the forecast. We wanted to be able to steer our project with the vision of the future. And you have seen on Fabien's presentation this morning about forecasting in the project views. Some of it was deployed in advance for us with a lot of specifics for our context. And also we wanted that it's future-proof, so we tried to get as close to the native as possible. So a consulting company, basically we hire people, we get new clients, we manage all of this in our ERP, we pay our personnel, we have some purchases that we will be adding in Odoo in a few months, and then we get accounting and reporting out of it. So quite easy, but once you put all the processes with one another, it's quite complex to integrate all those modules. So we have had a lot of customization, and we have had to steer the project very efficiently. And in the choice of the ERP, we did a large study on the costs, the pros and cons of each module, of each ERP. What really drove the decision, because we had a huge risk not to achieve the deadline on this project, and it was really our first goal was a planning focus to be able to migrate on a new ERP in April. We had huge financial constraints to shut down the previous ERP and huge operational constraints to work on the same ERP. So the first goal was to achieve the planning, and Odoo was the most risky solution. So why did we choose it? The main choice was about the financial steering processes. We already used OpenERP before, so we knew how to implement the finance steering processes, and that's what we try to reproduce in Odoo. So we started the challenge, and we did all the phases, POC, pilot, etc., etc., always in an agile way, always trying to see, always in the test and learn methodology, and growing the application step by step. So we had different streams, a functional stream focused on change, a technical stream in which Odoo helped us directly to deploy the solution, and a data migration stream separated to focus, or to put all the data from our previous ERP in that one. A key aspects, if you want to succeed with an ERP project like that, is spend a lot of time in your specification while already developing. We had a fast arbitrage process with every week all arbitrage that needed a decision that were taken really fast. Also, obviously, extended testing and a lot of training for the users. And now, a demonstration.
On my
We, as I said, we are deploying every week new features. Wednesday is the day we deploy the new features, so we should normally be able to connect, but there might be some demo effect.
No, my bad. Pourquoi il essaie de me mettre là? Non, je vais sur la prod. Ok. Oh, what's all the informations?
So we have integrated our ERP with Azure Active Directory.
C'est où le point d'exclamation là-dedans?
Hein?
Le point d'exclamation sur son clavier. It's not the same. Okay. Oh, sorry. No.
With multi-factor authentication, so I don't know if this was the focus of the safe Odoo workshop this morning.
Hope.
That's a good way to
So here you can see the menu, which is basically the same as the version 10, just with our colors. So first I will show you. First I will put it that in English. So you will all be able to understand each applications. Yes, we have the two languages in the tool. So first we'll start with the employee, because it's one of the inputs that we need in order to steer all our resources. So I will take an example. Basically, we are really close to the native on this way. So we just have fields, more fields, because we have another organization in domains and units and all this kind of stuff. So here you can see the employee sheets. So it's basically the same with the charter and everything, which is linked to a contract, as you can see here. If it's still a bit slow, it's not the 11th version. So.
So it should be divided by 3, and we'll hold Fabien accountable if not.
It's the Wi-Fi, or it's the Wi-Fi, or it's Ethernet. It's the Wi-Fi, and that's why. Maybe.
So it should not be that.
I don't know if you know the message, but if you wait until 5 minutes, it invites you to take a coffee and come back.
And we are still waiting for a special feature from Odoo Teams that would pop the icon of our application is a squirrel, So they built a waiting app with a squirrel popping up on the screen that you were to punch. It wouldn't make it go faster, but it would alleviate the stress. Ok, Arnaud n'a pas de contrôle.
Si, c'est juste que là, ça s'est arrêté. Commencer.
Essaye un peu, moi je pense que tu es toujours sur le wifi.
C'est bon?
Essaye.
I hope. Go.
Okay.
So here you can see, as I was saying, you can see the contract. And here we have a big difference compared to the native. We have added another object that is the contract evolutions, so which will enable us to really follow every step of the life of our employee. So we will have the arrival, which is the first step, and then we will have, for instance, mobilities like restructuring or salary revaluation or promotions, etc., etc. And with this contract evolution, we can see every evolution in one contract. So now the contract really equals to a paper contract that we'll have in life. And so that's here. So if we want to make a modification on the contract, we just have to add an evolution, which also have states. It will be submitted. It can be cancelled. It can be rejected, or it can be validated. And once the new information will be taken.
And those lines are the
Can show you one, for instance.
communications means with our payroll system and our reporting systems. All our reporting are based on those evolution lines.
Wavekeeper it does the master data for our employees, and then, for instance, when we recruit a new employee, it will be first entered in a Wavekeeper, and then the information will be sent to our payroll system, and etc., etc., to our Active Directory, and to all the system that's on the collaborator. So that's for the employee. Yes, we then have the timesheets. So when we deal all the time, so we have a bit of view difference. I will take my same sample. Here we can see that's the view of the timesheet that has been a bit personalized, a lot personalized. And one of the main differences too is that for the leave, once a leave is submitted, it goes directly to the timesheet. It's not edited by the collaborator. For instance, here I cannot edit the leave. It's automatically from a leave request. So even those on the future, for instance, October is open, and we already have all the leave of this employee. We have different projects, so we can add one. And for a collaborator, it will only be able to add projects who are internal or external projects, so engagements, but where we is assigned. So we will see that in the sales part, in the project management. But we have a system of assignments that enables only employees, consultants assigned to a project to timesheet on it. It's a security. You'll see why. So here I can edit as I want. If I show you the projects, I will take a sample. That's my project, I have known.
Doesn't do a lot.
I think this one, good. That's a sample of project. And you will recognize a bit of the project overview you've seen this morning. So here is a sample of a project in which we have, as you can see, the different employees that are assigned to this project. They're even assigned to a task. So if they are project director, project manager, consulting, etc., etc. And here you will see that in September is what comes from the timesheets. So it was have been realized. And here in purple, in pink, it's what we call the forecasts. So it would all the forecasting we made about the next step of the project. If we want to see what we have forecasted for September last month, here we have a reference month, so we can just switch the months and see what the forecast was. So it's a way to analyze. And at the end, here up, we can see all the details for all the details of each month. So in that case, it's a fixed price. It's not a time and material. So we calculate the progress and we calculate the turnover according to this progress. So we will have different ways of estimating the turnover according to the type of project.
We had to explain to Odoo the difference between fixed price and
And now it exists in the version 11. And if we want to edit the forecasts, it has to be in another view. For now, maybe not in the version 11. Where here is where we will be able to assign a new collaborator. So, for instance, you have someone new. I just have to click on here, select the profile, the task. So, like for instance, the project manager, and then select my user. And of course, I can only select. We have some restriction. For instance, here I can only select billable consultants. Billable employees. I cannot select, for instance, my payroll administration. We have some logics in the system, and it's here that we will be able to modify the forecast for the closing month. So, for instance, as September it's already closed, we cannot modify the forecast here. It's the realized, but here I will be able to put 2 if I want. For instance, I want. Il n'accepte pas. Bon, c'était 3. C'est OK? Hop, ça va modifier quelque chose? Non, c'est bon. OK. So that's the project. Do you want me to show the... We have also other personalization really specific to us, to a way to work. Like the adjustments, which is because we work in a closing mode. So once we have closed the months, we cannot touch it anymore. I think we are like closing to the accounting way of dealing with the finance data. So if, for instance, a timesheet wasn't good, or if we missed some turnover, etc., on the past, we can always adjust it with the adjustments and estimate this missing or this over turnover on the new months, on the months open. So we'll be able to do all these regulations thanks to these functionalities that we have had. And we have here all the made adjustments. Here you can see that we have none. It's a new project, so for the moment it's good. And that's it. Turnover on the new months, on the months. The sale order, so that is linked like to this project. For the sale order, basically it's really close to the night shift. Same thing. We only have some specific information more, but we mostly have a main difference that it's called here the project phase. Because in the native of the 10th version, it's only sale order lines with like a project, and it generates the project and the task which goes with there. But here, the project phase, it's what we call lots, and it's what enable us to have different kind of projects. It's what will enable us to have a fixed time, a fixed price project, or to have time and materials projects, or even subcontracting, or to sell a product, only a product. And so that will enable us to make different estimations and different calculations of turnover, and even costs when it's subcontracting or project, for instance. So that's really one of the main difference, and that it's one of a fundamental point in the way of managing the projects in here.
I think we can get to questions.
Yeah. Do you have any question on the demonstration? No. Okay. Go to the conclusion. Il veut pas, hein? Même pas. Hein?
Okay. So we did it. It was hard. What we learned from it is that change management was the key to ensure the success. Really, despite all technical difficulties and other aspects, really the key to succeed in that kind of project is change. We have also a lot of difficulties with data migration. We thought that the data that was coming from our previous legacy system was of good quality. It wasn't. So garbage in, garbage out, be aware of it. Obviously in 1 year we couldn't have a very participative approach with end users on the solution, so we started to get feedbacks post deployment, and we continue to make the solution evolve afterwards. And we have we have had successes, so we want to communicate on them and share our experiences, also communicate internally, and keep going to make Wavekeeper go on and go on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. Just one question. I heard that it was 3,000 users or 2,500?
It's when we started, we were 2,500. Now we have 3,000 users, approximately.
How did you do this with the local partner? I mean, you are working in several countries. Which tarification did you choose? Because Odoo has a different tarification for the region and country.
The contract is in France, so most of our users are in France. On the 3,000 users, 2,400 are French. So the contract is in France. We have been in the project. We have worked directly with Odoo and also with a local integrator, Smile. And so that's how.
Because in your case, maybe it would be more interesting to get a contract in a country where it's $8.
I will talk about it with.
What?
Yes.
You indicated that you had to spend a lot of, or make a large investment in training. Was that because of lack of usability and Odoo? The big difference with your previous system, the legacy system, or what is the main indicator there?
There are two. To reply to your question, both. First and most important part was to train all users on the new steering philosophy that we wanted to deploy on the tool. So we had approximately half of the population that was already aware of the steering processes, but the other half didn't know most of our performance indicators, why we would make the forecast on the projects, why we should timesheet on a daily basis instead of an hourly basis, etc. So we had lots of philosophical steering choices that we had to explain on the training. And the second aspect is that despite all the efforts and all that Fabien says, there are still some aspects of Odoo that are not completely user-friendly, such as in the timesheet, you have in one angle the save and in the other angle the submit. So at the beginning of the use of the ERP, most people only saved, never submitted, and lots of small ergonomic details that were not completely through, so we had to invest in training. We did videos, we did presence trainings, etc.
Did you face any issue with the performance?
Sorry?
Did you face any issue regarding the performance?
Lots.
Lots. So
We have had a strong debate with Odoo developers.
I would like to thank you.
We wanted to focus on algorithmics and how to and the model. We have had a lot of work at the beginning of the project on the design model to make sure that our performance would be good. And then the real life of the project kicks in, and at some point you have to develop, and you will see afterwards whether the performance are good or not. So we started developing. In the pilot phase, we identified a few bottlenecks. We had we put in place a monitoring system based on big data, ELK, if some of you know it. And with that monitoring system, we could identify the methods that would take the most time to complete. So we dedicated then special task force on those methods to review the algorithmics of those specific methods.
This solution is done by Odoo or the integrator company?
By Odoo.
By Odoo.
Yes. They have done the work twice. Once without the performance, and then with the performance improvement.
And again.
And again. Yes.
Would you change anything if it was to do the project again?
We had the opportunity to have done just a few years before an Open ERP V6 project of approximately well, not the same number of users, but we had a lot of ideas already coming in. So I think we avoided a lot of pitfalls thanks to that. It was really a great experience to have in the team. And what we missed during the project is mainly the data migration. We really well, we thought for a long time it was completely under control, and we did not invest in enough time with the end users to check the data migration. Well, we checked it with users, but not the good ones. We checked it with our controlling and finance teams, but not with the operational teams. So once we deployed in production with real data, as the steering philosophy changed, lots of users did not recognize their data. And so that was really the most difficult part, to explain the data and reconcile it with what they had before. And that's really the part that has been really difficult starting the project. We have had 2 to 3 months almost only dedicated to securing the data after the go live. Any other questions?